Hey everybody, welcome out to the Ramblers Corner podcast. This is February 18th. This will be the episode 1 of this series. Over here you got Joe.
Hey guys.
I got Matt here to my right.
Harry.
And I'm Jordan. Basically, we're just going to be doing a lot of rambling.
Rambling.
Just talking about stuff and things.
Sitting around having a couple tall boys. You know.
Talking about some shit.
Yep.
Stuff.
Yeah, so what's new in the news this week, boy?
What's going
You heard
on?
anything interesting or what?
Oh, that fucking... Okay, so Mars One. I'm sure you've heard about this.
I'm keeping up with that.
The big fucking thing where they're going into
I don't
Mars and people are gonna live there. So there was this fucking YouTube video, and it's like, I think they had 200,000 applicants to go to
Something
Mars.
insane like that.
It's basically a fucking suicide mission. Like, whoever goes there, they know they're not coming back.
That's what's fucked up about it, is that these people are willing to like completely die for this like chance to go to Mars.
Man, they know they're not going to come back. Like, it's fucking... They're going to Mars. No one's ever been to Mars. You don't know shit. They don't know stuff about Earth right now.
I don't know. Do you guys think you would go?
Okay, so I don't know shit about Mars One. So about this whole thing. So you guys gotta.
It's essentially just like it's like not government affiliated. It's like a private company that pretty much just said like, we can get people on Mars by like, I don't remember the year, it was like 2020 or something. They were like, we can get people on Mars by this year.
Wow.
And they were accepting applications from anyone, like someone from Nova Scotia is going. And it's like, it's kind of like a pipe dream thing, but at the same time, like they're showing progress, but it is essentially a suicide mission, like they're not coming back.
And so they're gonna be living.
The idea is like to start
Where?
a habitation on Mars.
Okay.
Like a colony of
Yeah.
sorts on Mars.
Yeah, that's what they said.
So within a span of like a week, they're gonna have a fucking community.
Like
Couple buildings.
the whole idea is you apply and you say like what you can offer, and then they're gonna have like buildings that they can set up there and stuff.
Like a fucking blow-up tents on
Yeah,
Mars.
yeah, exactly.
Bouncy tents.
I don't know.
We'll give them some fucking sleeping bags and some tents,
Yeah.
and we'll drop them off, see how they do on Mars.
Sounds like a child's birthday party.
Yeah, really.
That's fucked up, though, because they don't have a space station on Mars.
Yeah.
So they're basically just bringing them there.
I think I was reading about like the ship or like the shuttle that they were planning on using, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't equipped to like once it's on Mars, it's stuck. Like I think that was the idea.
That's
So
how
it takes off. The base is like left on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
As soon as it's up.
I
it's
just
up.
picture this drive-by of just this spaceship going, and these people fucking parachute out in their spacesuits, and they're just like, all right, so we're on Mars now.
Yeah, like welcome
do
to
we
Mars.
do? The fuck do we do now? We're on Mars, boys.
I think
So,
they're
like,
bringing
what-
rovers with them too and shit, like
Okay.
to get like data. But the main idea is just to start a colony and see like if we can habitate another planet.
Yeah.
Because you know Earth's going to shit anyway, right?
Yeah. So we know that there's water on Mars, right?
Do they? Is that a thing? I don't
Something
know.
we know.
I feel like it was talked about. I don't know.
they know that there was water on Mars.
Okay.
I don't think there still is.
Okay, so what are they gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna drink? What do they
That-
have? Unlimited
like-
supply of water. Like, these people know that they're going there
You can
to die.
You can make water out of like piss and stuff like that, I guess. But
Bring a couple bottles of spring.
yeah, exactly. Bring like some
Big eight.
Fiji water
Just
maybe.
cycle their piss forever.
Icelandic.
I don't know. I don't think that's how it works.
Well, that's how they do it on the.
I know what you mean.
That's how they do it on the ISS.
Here's my question. They
Yeah,
are
space.
Yeah, but
going. It's going to take around what, like 6 months to get there.
Yeah, like 6 to 8
months.
Yeah.
And what they're going to eat on the ship, obviously, or what are they going to? They're going to sleep.
I don't
for
know.
6 months?
Honestly, like I'm not 100% sure if they're doing like a whole like cryo sleep thing or
Yeah,
if they're
yeah.
like gonna survive on it. But like even getting to Mars, I think isn't gonna be.
That's the biggest trip.
Yeah.
That's the biggest.
It's not gonna be like a cakewalk. I don't think. Like
No.
I don't
People
know.
will die on the way. Do you
Yeah.
Everyone will.
I mean, they're only sending a handful of people.
I don't
So what if
remember
they
the
get on
amount.
this ship and everybody just fucking hates everybody else?
think?
And they're just like, so I better cope with this because these are the only people I'll ever see.
They like get
again.
on the fucking ship and it's like a strict Catholic and like a fucking biology professor from a university. And they're like, oh, I gotta live with this guy.
Lord
on
of the
Mars."
Flies.
Let me tell you about evolution. This guy's like, fuck, can we just turn
Like I
this
gotta live
ship
my
around?
entire fucking existence on Mars with this piece of shit.
think-
That's a reality show right
I
there.
think that's something that might be like most important is that we get a lot of people with you know, a lot of unbiased opinions towards religion and beliefs. People that are just kind of open minded to begin with.
That's actually one of the qualities they were looking for. I think is just like people who wouldn't be like against any ideas as opposed to like starting a new, because they're making a new society essentially, right?
Exactly.
And,
Well,
like,
we don't need a, like something dividing us already.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, see, in this documentary that I was watching, it was a fucking YouTube clip or something. But in this documentary, the guy, one of the like finalists or whatever, I think they narrowed it down to like 600 people or something like that. And one of the finalists was a guy from Africa who was super religious, and he basically saw the Mars One mission as like God's mission. So like as if God wants them to go to Mars, and God wants them to create like
this new like
a
society.
new, yeah, exactly, a new.
Earth is God's prototype. It's
But isn't it almost like someone's playing God in a way? Because they're like, we're gonna fucking start a new planet, a new fucking thing.
I don't know. I feel like the whole idea of like going to habitate another planet kind of goes against like the idea of, you know, like God creating Earth for humans. Like the whole idea that like we can ditch it.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know. It's weird to me. I don't think I would go. Like, I don't know. I'm obsessed with space, and like I think it would be the coolest thing ever to be able to like be on Mars. But at the same time, it's like I've got a life.
Fuck no, I'm not going to that. They don't have beer on Mars.
no.
They don't have fucking movies and shit. People
they
bringing
have
their
podcasts?
iPhone chargers and fucking
They have
Mars.
podcasts on Mars.
Podcast, man, they're gonna be podcasting from Mars.
They're good, yeah.
So
I just picture some shitty like vlog of some guy in a spacesuit. So like,
Hey guys, this
day
is
4
a-
on Mars.
This is the Mars One vlog, day 1. Like,
Yoga on Mars.
let me do some fucking package openings.
Anti-gravity yoga. What's the gravity like up there? Like, there's no
Mars?
gravity.
I feel like it's.
Mars has weaker gravity, but
Yeah.
not by that much. Like it's not.
So it's not like the moon.
It's not the moon, but it's weaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read somewhere about like how much you can lift on Mars and stuff, and the gravity is weaker, but it's not. It's manageable. You know what I mean? Like one interesting thing about the whole low gravity stuff is say like they arrive on Mars and they're trying to like do things based on like what they're used to on Earth. Like, you know, like some guys like, oh yeah, like fuck, I know how to build like a log cabin because I did it on Earth once. And then like he tries to do something like that, he'd be like, fuck, like shit's different. Gravity's different.
There's something right there. Where the fuck are they getting wood? Where's this?
They don't have. There's no trees on
Where?
Mars.
Where's
We know for a fact there's no
There's
trees,
no
on,
trees
Mars.
on Mars.
And you don't know that.
Where's the oxygen? Where's the oxygen coming from? Like where? They have an
Oh,
endless
it's
supply of oxygen.
it's a dome, I think.
It's gonna be a dome.
A dome that just pumps.
They
it
have
up.
they have a plan to survive for like a certain amount of period without oxygen, and then they're gonna set up like a dome.
Okay.
People aren't meant to be just strutting about on Mars. You're gonna be in a dome. This
Okay.
isn't a planet.
Yeah, it's not like they're starting small.
Yeah,
they're not
starting
gonna,
small.
Yeah, they're not just gonna drop them off and be like, all right, so figure out how oxygen works up here. Have fun. I mean, obviously they're gonna fucking bring things with them.
It's
But
gonna be like a biodome.
how big is this fucking spaceship that they can bring a biodome with them and all this stuff
That's
that
true.
That's
people
huge.
will
That's
need?
true.
Because there's nothing on Mars. It's fucking Mars, man. Like,
Yeah.
Rocks.
I never thought about that, the size of the ship, because if they're bringing like an entire habitation on a ship, like it would have to be large.
Are we bringing 2 of each animal? Is this a fucking Noah's Ark
They should.
style thing?
You
They
should submit that idea.
They should.
You might get in Mars One.
Yeah,
I mean-
email Mars One, be like, I have an idea.
They're not gonna
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
care packages of chocolate jars and rations.
Airdrops.
Yeah.
Once you're gone, you're gone. Like that's it.
Yeah, you're-
Like nobody's fucking coming out there.
I mean, like the thing is, they're putting billions. Like there's got to be billions into this.
Oh,
so
I would
it's
say.
it's
I
like
imagine.
they're not.
Yeah.
They're going ham.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
This
one
is no
shot.
joke.
It's
They're-
one shot.
They're gonna take care of these people as much
Yeah.
as possible.
Well, that's the thing that always like freaked me out about space travel the most is it's like it's not the same as like, you know, exploring like the ocean and stuff like that, because it's like there's support on Earth, like people can help you, but like once you're in space, there's no one who can like give you a hand. Like if you're in space and you're like, man, like I'm sick and I forgot to bring some Advil, they're not gonna like send out Advil immediately.
At least half of the people better be doctors that they're sending out there. Otherwise, they're all fucked.
Many,
They get a
many
common
doctors.
cold.
Yeah.
Here's
and
the
they're all
thing:
dead.
no fucking doctor is smart enough, is like stupid enough to be like, oh, yeah, I'll go to Mars.
Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
down.
I
Like-
got a PhD in this and that. I think I'm just gonna take my chances, go to Mars when I could be making
They're like
fucking healthy living here.
Like, no, I can do knee surgery and have a Jaguar, so I'm not gonna go to Mars.
Yeah, don't you think most doctors, like 99.9% of doctors on Earth, have a family to take care of, or a family that's like.
I was reading it was like a quick interview, like it wasn't long, it was like a few questions with this girl who's like she made it to the next round of Mars One, like the next round at that point, but her boyfriend didn't, and like they applied together.
Double jeopardy.
Yeah, exactly. The next round. But her boyfriend didn't make it, and they were like asking him like are you pissed? And like he was kind of honest about it, I think. Like I remember he was like, yeah, like obviously I'm a little disappointed that like I'm never gonna see my girlfriend again.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yeah, what if she went and he didn't, and he was just like, hey, wonder how what's her face is doing up there on Mars?
Like on Mars.
I don't know, man. The way I see it is the question I have is what's she looking for out there? Maybe she's gotta be sick of her boyfriend.
I feel
that's the reason.
I feel like the main
his swimmers must not be working because she's looking for a baby or something.
I feel like the main thing of the Mars One is they pretty much know that it's a suicide mission. Everybody knows the suicide mission.
That's what science is all about, though.
So
I guess, right?
the people that are going
chances,
there,
man.
the people that are going there are pretty much just going there to make a legacy. Like maybe people going there feel like there's nothing for them on Earth, or they feel like, you know, Earth, like living a normal life on Earth is not.
See, but the kind of people who are like, there's nothing for me here, those aren't the kind of people you want starting a habitation.
Yeah.
No, that's a depressing.
I think it'd be interesting to see how. I think it'd be interesting to see how the
if
culture
there's nothing
develops.
for you here.
Yeah, exactly. It's
there's
like
nothing for you.
You're going to a place where there's literally nothing for you. Like it's rocks.
Yeah.
Culture.
Yeah, the culture on Mars.
I don't know. It's just like they would develop like religions and stuff like that. Like maybe.
I don't know. One of them would just be like, yeah, so I'm God now, and this is what happened on Mars.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
it's just so crazy because I mean, like, it's a complete blank slate except like the USA is just straight up like what, is it a branch of the USA? Like,
I think it's an American like company, but I think they were gonna do like they were gonna try and get people from like a lot of different cultures and stuff to check it out. Like to go to Mars.
Yeah, I mean, they want it to be diverse and they want it to be kind of different, but
at the same time, it's like if you have too many different cultures, it's like they won't get a lot done, right? Because like there's gonna be language barriers and stuff like that.
It's weird. I can't even fathom it. Like just a total new society built from scratch, just cut off from Earth. Like I'm sure one day we'll have like cell phone plans that have Mars minutes included, but for like the next while.
How many Earth minutes are there in a Mars minute? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it's seriously, it's too much to wrap your head around. Just the implications. You can think of any tiny thing, like the implications of people living on a new planet is just we can't think about it.
Yeah,
it's something that we've never. It's never happened before.
Yeah, like even like we've been to the moon, but it's like we weren't like living there. We just dropped by for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and like so like what I'm thinking of is like what's the laws? Like what laws do we have?
Like they could
get
basic
human rights.
Shit.
Is it basic human rights? Can like obviously you can't kill the person next to you, but like but what happens if you do? What if you do kill the person next to you?
Yeah, there's no Mars police. They're not.
No, they're gonna send one police officer.
There's no
Mars. I am the law.
Yeah, you'll be sentenced to
jail.
10 years in Mars prison. Like they just throw you into the shuttle and just fucking
like lock you
up.
Maybe they'll just kick you off and watch you float into space.
Maybe they'll put you in a cryo sleep for like a year.
Yeah, they're like you're gonna sleep away a year of your life. Like
you're gonna come out and everyone's gonna be dead.
No one would care if you're in a cryo sleep and it's just like sleeping for a bit. They'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I'll kill a guy for 20 years in cryo sleep. I'll wake up like I just slept a good 8 hours."
But that's the thing though, because you go out there and you're going to assume, you know, that people are gonna die like real fast.
Yeah, they'll be dropping like flies.
So if you go into a cryo chamber for a year, you know that you come out, you're alone.
Yeah.
Like Mars One mission is probably over, and you will be helpless. You'll have nobody.
I can't imagine like
signal will be shut down, or you'll come out, and it'll be a fucking whole new world.
Oh, either way, it's exciting.
Realistically, I think they're gonna send a small amount of people there because it costs a shit ton of money. They're gonna die. The whole mission's gonna be a failure.
I think it's gonna be really delayed too. Like they'll be like, yeah, like we should be ready by like next year, and then like every year will be like, yeah, a bunch of stuff went wrong.
Yeah,
that happens. Like even with just like space shuttles, like Challenger had a lot of issues. Not all of them were.
But I think basically like, we're not advanced enough to go to a new planet yet. As much technology as we have, and as much crazy stuff as we have, it's not advanced enough yet. So the first mission's probably going to be a failure, and then after that, we're going to just scrap the program for a while, and then maybe they'll try it again when we have spaceships that can return and all this stuff.
It's interesting because like, it's not like a government thing, too. So it's like, there's no like government affiliation behind it. So it's like, it's going to be a kind of unbiased thing. Because like, you know, if the states had this like set up, then all the like scientific data and stuff would be sent to the states, and they would be the ones like holding that proprietary knowledge. But it's like, since it's just a company, like they can really do whatever they want with it. Like I think it's a private company is what they're doing.
Here's another thing though. Who's making money off this? If this is a private company...
Nobody's making money, man.
Who's making their money? No, there's no billionaire just saying, yeah, let's throw $50 billion at this and just see how it goes.
Wouldn't you, though?
Elon Musk.
Maybe.
Elon Musk is trying to put Wi-Fi in space right now. Guy's probably spending like $100 billion.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to... If you had all the money in the fucking world, and you were just like, I want to be God. I'm going to be God for fucking 4
I mean,
years.
maybe if you have an obscene amount of money and you just can't buy
That's
any
all
more
that
things.
Elon Musk is pretty much doing. He's the real-life Iron Man. He's just like... Yeah, like, I'm a millionaire. I designed, like, a spaceship and, like, an electric car that runs on, like, fucking AAA batteries and is going, like, 1,000 kilometers an hour.
That guy is crazy.
He's interesting. He's the only... I think, like, the big thing is he's the only man in the world who owns 3 separate million-dollar companies in 3 completely different fields. Because, like, he owns PayPal. Like, he made PayPal. He has Tesla, the car company that's, like, the fancy electric cars, and SpaceX, which like they make spaceships.
Yeah.
Like the guy's literally fucking got all corners covered.
I feel like he's just running out of things to do. He's like, okay, we got PayPal, eBay's pretty big now. Let's make some spaceships.
Yeah, like I got some ideas for spaceships. Like what if they were shaped like, you know, like this, like a cone sort of?
Yeah. So you really think by 2020 we're going to be ready to go to fucking Mars?
I don't know if that was the exact year, but I remember it was something.
Why don't we just wait till Marvel's done making movies?
That should be the time frame for everything.
They got their movies slated up to 2020.
Except now like DC's jumping in too, so it's like it's gonna be a very fucking saturated market.
We'll wait till after everyone's just done making movies.
Marvel is such like everything they do is so much money. They're gonna be like making fucking movies about like the most minor characters, like the like agent girl from the Avengers, like Kobe Smulders is the actress's name. It's gonna be fucking she's getting her own movie.
The girl from How I Met Your Mother.
Can I just say that so far this is the dorkiest podcast of all fucking time.
Okay, we'll talk about cool shit.
Yeah, cool shit.
Cool shit.
Jordan, talk about some beer, man.
Beer.
I'm
drinking some Tiger.
What do you drink? Tiger.
I'm a fan of Tigers. I'm a big Tiger fan.
Isn't it from like Singapore?
Yeah, it's Singapore. I like Tiger. I've had it like several times. Every time I had a good time, right?
Yeah, man, it's fucking great.
Tiger. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about. I mean, now it's beer. It's beer. It's not gonna kill you, but it's from Singapore. I mean, they don't have. Do they have labor laws like we do here?
I don't know, man. I don't know anything about Singapore. Singapore is like East Asia, isn't it?
What do you got against Singapore, bro?
Singapore is a great place, I'm sure. Isn't that's the place where you get put in jail for spitting on the sidewalk or something?
That's dark.
I have no idea, but if that's true, that's a worrying thing for me.
It's like if you spit, if there's gum on the sidewalks, like if you spit your gum out, they'll
get your DNA.
They'll trace it.
Yeah, they'll trace that gum. They have gum police that just check everybody's gum in a laboratory. It's either Singapore or Indonesia. No, I think it's Singapore.
What are you drinking?
Innocent Gun Lager.
This is a new lager we just decided to try tonight. Craft beer because we're hipster.
I like the look of the can. It's like kind of minimalist.
They're from Scotland. I've had a lot of Innocent Gun beer before, but this one is like the only one that I would drink. Like I could drink like a few of, because most Innocent Gun beers are just like super strong and like aged
Guinness kind of thing.
Aged in oak barrels, and you feel like you're drinking weird
cool,
liquor that you can't mix with anything.
That's cool. I remember I went to like a really fancy restaurant recently, and I got a free drink because like they made me wait like 15 minutes for my table.
You get to pick, or was he like?
I got to pick.
Judging by your haircut, you'll like this.
Yeah, you probably like PBR, you know.
Judging by your purple flannel.
Oh, that purple flannel.
Here's
some PBR.
But yeah, he handed me the
lemon twist because it's purple.
It's delicious. He handed me the drink menu, and I immediately just like looked for the most expensive one, and I got it, and it was delicious, and like the description was so like it hyped itself up so much. It was like selected from the finest hops in the country, like aged inside a dying oak tree as it breathed its final breaths. It was good though. I liked it. I had a good time with it.
Oh, that's great. What was it? You have no idea what it's called.
I forget the name honestly. Like I just looked at the price. It was something like absolutely ludicrous. Like it was a crazy expensive restaurant. Like one of those places that you just don't go to for fear of like losing all your money.
Yeah.
It was good though. It was really good.
On tap.
It was heavy.
Lots on tap, or what was going on with that?
Mostly imports, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a new thing now. Craft beer is just taking over everything. Like you have craft beer bars. It's like the new wine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
beers are like huge these days. I find like with a lot of university age people, everybody just wants to talk about like which beers they prefer and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like wine was like our parents' drink, and
Yeah,
now it's all
exactly.
about like weird beers.
Beer connoisseur. That just doesn't sound right to me.
Beer connoisseur just makes me think of like a frat boy who like really enjoys Coors Light.
Yeah.
And he saves up all his cans above his bed.
You do that.
Yeah, fuck you.
I was gonna say you showed me that.
It's beautiful artwork, okay?
You do have a lot of like variety though. You had that one wood bottle.
Yeah, a wooden Alexander Keith's.
That can't be like.
Some maritime
I
shit.
can't see them making thousands
Yeah,
of
I was gonna
wooden
say,
bottles.
that
Like, that
can't
must
be-
be some weird homemade shit or
Limited
one-off.
edition
It's
fucking-
cool nonetheless. I'm fucking keeping
That
it.
can't be efficient though. Like think about how difficult it would be to make a wooden bottle. Like
How many
it's,
trees did they have to kill, man?
Doesn't wood
There's
rot
like-
if you put wood?
they
Yeah.
they have it
Beer
treated, though.
inside
They
wood.
I'm
definitely
sure
have it
there's a
treated.
fine garnish.
I'm sure no beer ever came in that. Some guy made it, and I have it for some reason. I don't
Just
know.
imagine there was beer in it at one point.
Yeah, but I don't know. Beer is like taking over now, and I kind of like it because I like beer.
I love the. You go down to Cottage and they have the. Did you go to Loose Cannon ever? Either of you?
Loose cannon? Never.
They do.
Loose Cannon, that's on Argyle.
Right at the end of Argyle,
On
right
the
across
corner
from
of Argyle.
Argyle.
Yeah.
It's attached to that little martini bar.
The little Scottish bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
that's-
have like
that's a
folk
great
night
spot.
and stuff, man. They
Folk
got a couple,
night?
Yeah, they got a couple. It's
No,
just like a little square.
They have it on Thursdays, and we've gone there for wings on a couple Thursdays, and it's the same dude singing the same
Oh,
fucking.
really?
I love folk music.
Like
though,
he
man.
sings Wonderwall and Green Day
Oh my
songs.
God.
That's
Just-
not folk.
That's not no folk.
No, it's not folk. It's just
Wonderwall.
one guy singing the same songs, like just the
Oh,
typical
the same,
songs
you
you'd
mean the
expect.
songs that everybody learns?
That all the drunkers like, woo!
Brown-eyed girl.
Wonderwall!
But-
Yeah, brown-eyed girl, wagon wheel, all that shit.
Yeah.
Just
But the-
typical.
They
typical
got
stuff.
they got like a little cupboard, or I don't know what you want to call it. It's got like glass doors on the front of it, and it's just got like all these different like vintage
I saw
beer
that.
cans.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I
as
want
fuck.
that for my house. All those fucking beer cans. I get shit for it. That'll look great in my
A
house.
glass
one day.
case, man.
Yeah.
Better than on
Yeah.
the floor, man.
Well, I ran out of space. Okay.
Oh no.
you deal with
I
it.
get you, man.
I was looking at pictures of like this wine cellar that this guy had installed in his kitchen. It was like a glass door in the tiles, like inset perfectly, and you go in. It's a spiral staircase.
I've heard of that. I've heard
Yeah,
of that.
I guess like obviously it's only for very rich people, but like I was thinking, because it's like a spiral staircase that goes downward. Like assuming his kitchen's on the bottom floor of his house, like is that just like a straight pit into the earth, or like does that go through the cellar or what?
He's rich. He dug it.
Yeah, you dug it.
Yeah, rich people are always like getting into crazy hobbies and shit like that. Like when you're that rich, you're just looking for fulfillment anywhere, right?
I would have a golden water slide if I was rich.
I would have a treehouse and it would be fucking incredible.
like a treehouse with Wi-Fi though. Like a super
treehouse
full-on-
with Wi-Fi.
a
That's all you
full-on
can think of.
treehouse.
I just sit on the deck and crochet.
Crocheting's cool.
Yeah, cross
Crochet?
stitch.
Yeah.
Cross stitch.
Just
It's like
really-
knitting for people who can't knit.
Really find the real Jordan when you're rich.
Yeah, you know, I just wanna expand my horizons. You know.
I would find myself every day.
Yeah.
I would watch Bob Ross and I would paint along. I wouldn't just watch it. I wouldn't just watch it. I would do the painting with him.
Draw a little bush.
Man, it must be nice to just know that you're that rich, and it's like, if
No
I don't want to
fear.
do anything else for the rest of my life, I'm fine.
Yeah, my goal in life is to get rich enough so that when I wake up, there's nothing I have to do.
That's
Yeah.
the thing, though, man. I think you're just like over your head, and you just have all this money, and all you want is to have more money, man.
Yeah.
More money.
Yeah, like we think of being rich from our perspective now. So we're like, one day we're gonna get so rich that we're just gonna be like, fuck it, let's do whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like
most
what-
people get rich and then they just want to make more. Like greed just takes
Yeah.
over, and they're just like, how do I invest this to make more
Yeah,
money?
exactly. I just want to be so rich that I can just sit in bed. Like if I wake up and I'm like I'm not getting out of bed today, like no repercussions.
Yeah.
I want to be able
Totally
to watch
get
TV all day and shit like that. I'm just incredibly lazy, honestly. Like, I just don't want to have any obligations.
I feel like lazy people are the first people who are like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to be rich.
Yeah, but the thing is, lazy people never get rich.
Yeah, that's
it's like...
Yeah, because that's the thing, man. Like, you say, I want to get rich and just, like, sit in bed, but, like, the people who just say, I want to get rich and sit in bed. Not that, like,
yeah,
not
I know. Well, I'm not
but,
getting
like,
rich.
most of the people who say that, because from what I know, you're not a lazy guy, but, like, those people are just, like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, they're the kind of people
I just
who are
want
like...
money to follow. I want to get a lotto ticket.
They're like, man, I want to get rich so bad, but, like, I don't want to go apply for a job because that takes effort.
Like think about how many people have won the lottery and just end up, like, fucking blowing them.
Oh.
I read about that and I get so, like, angry.
Isn't it like...
It's like a mix of just, like, jealousy and hatred. I'm just like, how could you do that?
It's got to be, like, 90%. Like, I know it's a high percentage.
I don't want to spit statistics because I'm not really sure, but I would bet that it's high. Because,
Well,
like, I've read so much about it, like, so many different cases.
It's like people that go from 0 to 100. They're just all of a sudden
Real
living a normal life, and then next thing they know, they're like, yeah, I'm just going to go buy 17 Lamborghinis. And then...
What I'm always worried about is, like, giving money to people. Because it's like, I'd obviously want to give, like, a bunch of money to my family and stuff. But then it's like all my best friends will be like, hey man, like you won the lottery, like that's cool, like maybe huck me 100,000 so I can buy this new Mustang and shit.
Or even if like you go, even something as simple as like you're out at dinner with your friends, everybody's gonna look at you to be like,
yeah, it's like the bill's here, like will this be together?
Hey,
and everybody just like stares at Matt.
I can see why that would kind of change people's lives in a way.
I don't want to be.
I wouldn't. If I was rich, I think that I would have like my little group, like my entourage.
You've been watching a lot of Entourage lately.
It's in my top 5, but I haven't been watching it lately. But like, I would have an entourage that I'm taking out to dinner. I would have like my boys, but I wouldn't be taking like any strangers out to dinner anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's with me from the start is who's with me in the end, and I think like you know, you're not gonna spend much money on people you don't
People
know.
will like straight up manipulate you though. Like
Oh,
people
For
will flatter you and like try and become your best friend, and it's like that's just like a fact of life.
You guys sound like such a rap song right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, man. Like started from the bottom.
Nowhere yet.
No,
0 to 100.
There are all these people here right now that I didn't know last year. Who the fuck are y'all?
Oh man, this is getting real.
It's just like, just don't be stupid with your money.
But like that's such an easy thing to say when you have no money. Right?
But when you have
I
money,
know.
you're like, I'm gonna buy my 16th mansion,
Yeah.
even though I'm making $0.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, what did you say recently when you were like going out for wings and it was like, I gotta make $20 stretch? It's like you know about making money stretch.
Yeah. It's just and also if I had an entourage, if I'm taking my boys to Hollywood, taking my boys to New York, taking my boys to Silicon Valley, I am making sure they have a job working for me.
That's true.
They're having money because they deserve that money.
I forget who it was, but some famous guy, he was talking about like how he handles his money with his kids. It was some like actor. Because like that's an interesting concept, right? Because if you inherit like $1 million from birth, you're probably gonna be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So his big thing was his kids have to work, they have to get jobs, and they have to work for their own money, but he'll double every dollar they make. So like any wage that they get, he'll just double their salary, and like he's obviously still gonna be like crazy generous. Like it's your birthday, have a fucking new boat.
Oh, for sure.
But I love the idea of like no handouts. You still have to work, and like, you're gonna have it easy because your dad worked hard. But it's like.
Yeah, it's still like we want you to work and we want you to
exactly.
like learn life skills, but at the same time, they're like, yeah, you should live like a privileged.
Well,
life
like you deserve it,
in a
right?
way.
Because it's like I don't want to say like it's your right, but it's like someone in your family has earned that money for you in a way. So it's like you deserve the benefits.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I want to be rich so bad. It's like every time I talk about it, it just all comes down to the fact where it's like the things I could do.
Yeah.
It's like I'm always seeing shit online where it's like, oh, like this guy has a pool inside his fucking kitchen, and I'm like, I want.
Why
that.
can't I have a pool inside my kitchen?
People with fucking caves in their backyard that have
Caves, man. Caves. are cool.
saunas inside them.
Yeah. Saunas are neat, but I feel like that's like one of those things where if I had a sauna in my house, I would use it like maybe once a year, and only like when friends are around, right?
Just to be like, yeah, I got a sauna, whatever.
Yeah, like my buddy has a hot tub, and he's like, yeah, I use this thing fucking only when you guys beg me to use it. So it's like it's just one of those things, right? You okay over there, Matt?
Yeah, if anybody wonders what that weird sucking cancer patient noise is, it's the e-cig.
Matt is hooked on e-cigs.
That's what gives me the glory to sit inside,
Lets you
and
ramble.
not worry about shit, and not have to go outside, and probably, I mean, not definitely not die, but maybe not die, which is a good thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Helps you ramble, you know? Helps you get loose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's relaxing.
Man, it's just so nice to just, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure e-cig still might kill you, but I'd still
What
rather...
doesn't kill you?
Yeah.
I'd rather put my money on something that might kill me than, like, cigarettes that will definitely
Like,
kill me.
I'm not completely like an expert on like the health thing, but like I'm pretty sure it's better for you, but it's not healthy, but it's like nothing's healthy, right? Like
Yeah.
you're hard pressed to find a hobby that won't like also endanger your life in some way. So.
Yeah. It's still kind of scary, though, because it came out in, like, 2004. Like, it's been, like,
Yeah,
a little bit over 10 years now. They don't really know what it does. Like, think of how long it took them to figure out cigarettes and, like, all that shit.
Yeah, that's true. But like a lot of that was like, you know, tobacco companies don't want you to figure out cigarettes, right? Like they were
Think about
suppressing the knowledge.
Think about how long it took them to make cigarettes the danger they are today.
Yeah,
though,
that's
too.
true.
You know, before it was just tobacco rolled up in some paper.
Yeah.
No filter. Not that that's a
filter
good
it.
thing, but no filter at the time.
Yeah, probably like way less content of like everything horrible.
Yeah, still you got all the carcinogens, the tar, all that stuff, and a big thing that people point at me when they're arguing, and it's mainly smokers. Smokers are the ones that are like, I don't like that shit. But the people who aren't smokers are asking questions and they're interested, they want to know. But the smokers are constantly just like, you don't know what you're taking into your body.
Yeah.
How interesting is that?
How interesting is that? Because it's like, give me a list of the chemicals you're taking into your body.
Yeah,
what are
that's
you
true.
Yeah,
smoking?
if I'm taking in 10 deadly chemicals, it's still better than you taking in 2,000.
Yeah.
That's...
And the tar alone, the carcinogens alone,
Yeah.
all of those things, you're not taking into your body anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't see myself ever like smoking. You know what I mean?
Good,
Like,
you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Once you start, you're in too deep.
I know. I'm like, it's just something that I feel like if I ever like got involved with, I would like beg all my friends of like fucking like kill me, like cut off my hands, make sure I don't smoke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know where you come from. But at the same time, it's like,
I don't see it as like the evil that some people do, where it's like, man, like smokers are jokers. Like if you smoke, you're a piece of shit. Like I understand the need, but it's just something that I would never like get into. I think.
you just shouldn't. Because once you start smoking and once you're just a regular smoker, you'll always be like a smoker to some extent.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
the
e-cigs
people
are
that
cool.
smoked like years at a time, they never just like forget smoking. They're
Yeah.
always like, they might not be like physically addicted to it anymore, but at some point in their life, they're gonna be like, man, I wish I had a smoke right now.
Here's
You
how
know what
I
mean?
explain it, man. I quit cold turkey twice, for the first time 6 months, the second time 3 months. And each time, it's like missing an ex-girlfriend. And everyone can relate to that. Ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever. You think about strictly the good times, and that's it. Sometimes
that's
you're thinking sometimes you're thinking logical, and you're thinking, I felt like shit, I was depressed.
Yeah, that's true.
Blah, blah,
man.
blah. But you're always going to want that smoke. And I don't hate smoking. I love smoking. I love smoking.
Smoking's
I will
great.
never deny
Smoking's
that.
fucking great. Good.
I will
Joey's just
never deny that.
doesn't
Yeah, I'm
know
just sitting
what we're
here like,
talking
man,
about.
like
But-
smoking's not great.
Do
Smoking
I
is-
want people to love smoking? No.
Yeah.
It's horrible to love smoking, but
Yeah.
I do. I can't deny that. I
Yeah.
love smoking.
Not to mention all the times that you've just like sat there having a cigarette and you're just like, this is killing me. Why am I doing this?
Yes.
And I know what you said about quitting.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tried when I was smoking cigarettes, and I didn't even smoke that heavy. Like, I smoked maybe like 13 a day, 10, 13 a day.
To me, that's like 10 a day. Like what?
You got a problem!
Like you're addicted.
You smoke a deck a day?
You're like that's insane.
But like, to someone that's even not what's considered like a heavy smoker, just trying to quit, it's impossible. It's like you try for a couple days at a time, and then you go back to it, and you're like, well, I guess I'm just a smoker now. I guess that's just something I'm going to do.
Well, like
forever.
I can relate to that with like different things. Like I say every day, I'm like, yeah, I'm never drinking pop again. Like pop is the worst thing ever. And then I'm like fucking at McDonald's, and I'm like getting an extra large, like
Yeah.
Coke and
that's-
Sprite.
That's the thing about e-cigs, though, man. Like, I still love smoking. I mean, I'm getting my nicotine. I'm getting that hit in the back of my throat. I'm getting the, the hand to mouth, like that addiction that you have, like that habit that you have that is impossible to break. Even when you quit cold turkey, you're still biting your nails. You got something in your mouth at all times, a pen, whatever. You got that smoke, so you're smoking more pot. You're doing whatever.
That's what people always say is like, there's like all these different habits associated with it, right? Like there's like the physical habit of like, cause like for so long, like 20 times a day or whatever, you were doing this like little action of like putting your hands up to your mouth. So it's like, you kind of have like this weird little like stress reaction.
Not to mention that for me too, it's like just like breathing in and then just blowing out that smoke. As stupid as that sounds, for someone who smokes, like you want to just like see the smoke. You want to just like, I don't know.
It's
also smoke's just cool.
It sounds stupid, but I feel like a lot of people that don't smoke like don't get it. But a lot of people that will smoke will be like, yeah, I know what you mean. Like just watching smoke come out is just somewhat satisfying, as fucking dorky as that sounds.
Did you guys ever try like gum or anything? Like
gum?
No. Is it that shitty?
Yeah. Well, it's the same. It's filling the chemical need for the nicotine.
Yeah,
but it's not.
You're still gonna want to do
the habit.
this.
You know what I mean? Like.
And a lot of people will be like, oh, just get on the patch and fucking smoke those little vapor cigarettes that have no nicotine in them. And it's like, that's not doing it.
Yeah, you won't get the burn that you want.
I love that hit in the back of my fucking throat. And in order to get that on one of those little vapor things, I gotta fucking suck till my fucking eyes are blue. Like,
eyes popping out of your head, yeah.
But like, that's what it is. And I'm not gonna, let's take an unbiased look at this too. Before I started smoking e-cigs, the way I looked at it was like, you're smoking more nicotine, because the way when I see my friends smoking these, they're going at it over and over and over and over. But here's the thing too, man, like when I'm going at these over and over and over, and I put it down for a minute, I'm not like trying to breathe. I can breathe.
Yeah, like you were totally against it. I remember I was trying to get you into it, and you were like, no man, people just want to smoke those more and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's like, who cares? Nicotine itself is not the harmful thing. It's all the fucking carcinogens and tar and all the stuff, all the extra chemicals they put in that. That's what kills you.
I'm surprised at how many people don't know that nicotine on its own is like pretty much the equivalent of caffeine on its own.
Exactly. It's a stimulant. It doesn't...
And do you know how many people are addicted to caffeine?
I'm completely addicted to caffeine.
Need a coffee every fucking
But coffee doesn't fucking kill you, and that's why caffeine is
Coffee's not good for you,
it's
though.
not. No, it's not good. No, a certain extent, coffee can be good for you.
Yeah.
But if you do anything to excess,
being dependent on any substance is bad, honestly. Like, I think it's bad that we can be dependent on anything, but, like, I'm completely addicted to coffee. Like, I have, like, 2 espressos every day, and it's fucking me up, but...
I used to be like that, too, man. I'd have the coffee pot. I had, like, fucking 4 cups in the morning, 4 cups at night. And when I stopped, I have never felt... Even when I quit smoking, I have never had worse withdrawals from coffee, like, from anything else than I have from coffee.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
Yeah, I remember I went camping with my dad, like, when we were younger, and he forgot to bring coffee. And, like, the first day, he was like, oh, it's fine, like, I can survive without coffee, like, it's not a big deal. And he didn't realize that, like, he's been having cups every day for, like, 30 years. And he was getting, like, horrible migraines. He was, like, sick. He was having, like, weird, like, back pain and stuff. And he was just like, man, like, I need caffeine.
Because why not?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Because why not? Nobody's telling you you're going to get cancer from drinking coffee. You're going to get heart disease from drinking coffee. Nobody's telling you that shit.
So everybody's like, fuck yeah, I'll drink my coffee.
I wonder, like, if you actually, like, did, like, a chemical survey or whatever, if, like, the majority of the population of the United States is, like, addicted to caffeine.
Definitely.
It's, like, so many people drink coffee.
Oh, I know. But when I was maybe, I'd say 7, my friend would have been 5, and he used to tell me how I was like in a religious family that we couldn't drink coffee or tea. We couldn't drink hot drink.
You couldn't drink hot drink?
No.
Like God was just like, no hot drinks!
No hot drinks!
Don't heat your drinks!
I command it!
Yeah, I mean, we were drinking hot chocolate, blah, blah, blah. It was mainly the caffeine and, like, the shit that's just, like, it turns your fucking stomach to, like, leather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We couldn't drink that stuff, and here I am at 7 being told not to do this, and my friend's every morning dipping his toast in tea.
Wow.
which is a weird combination.
Yeah, that's like the story's interesting, but I'm stuck on this toast and tea thing.
Yeah, what's that about? But at the same time, I was like, it's a 5-year-old drinking tea.
Yeah.
Not that tea's like horrible, but kids are drinking tea. Kids are drinking coffee.
Yeah, I remember when I was like 10, and my mom saw me getting like an iced cappuccino from Tim Hortons, because like those things are delicious, right? And I probably just like saw my cousin doing it or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And my mom like freaked the fuck out. She was like, "That's like straight up coffee. Like you're in trouble right now." And I was like, "Mom."
Yeah. Mom wants.
But like thinking back, it's like when I'm a parent and if I see my kid like drinking coffee when he's like 10, I'll be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Forming addictions at the age of 10.
I'm like,
no, eat broccoli.
Like, eat your vegetables. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Fucking 10-year-old kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the age that people drink coffee is getting younger and younger too, because it's like it's the cool thing, right? So it's like I see junior high kids who are like, yeah, like gotta go to Starbucks, gotta get my cappuccino.
My kids I ever fucking wake up, my kids say, I ain't going to school till I get my fucking mochaccino. I'm slapping them in the fucking face. Like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah. I understand it.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
Going to primary school.
No,
gotta wake up.
That's the thing though too. I feel like generations now, just like the more and more liberal society comes,
Yeah.
like generations now are just going to be doing weird shit that like at the age of 16 it wasn't acceptable in our time, and then it seems like such a fucking old guy thing to say.
Yeah, but it's like it's a natural progression in society that people want to do what older people do, right? Like when I was 10 and my brother was like 15 or whatever, I would see him doing stuff and I'd be like, oh fuck, I want to do that. But then when I'm doing it at 10, an 8-year-old's going to see me and be like, oh, I want to do that. So it's like over time I feel like we naturally just start acting older and like trying to get into older people things.
I feel like when we're like old, there's gonna be like 6-year-olds banging heroin. We're gonna be like, man, I don't understand young kids these days. That's just the way our society's.
Just think about it within the last 10 years, man. Us growing up.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
The acceptance that's come with kids smoking, kids drinking.
Yeah.
Teenage pregnancy.
Yeah. Although I would argue that very recently smoking is becoming more of a taboo thing. Like,
for sure.
I find when I talk to like high schoolers, they're all like fuck cigarettes. When like very very recently, people would be like all smoking out front of the high school, right? So it's like
everybody was selling those like Indian pre-rolled cigarettes off the reserve.
Like $1 each.
Yeah. Disgusting. Can't even get a haul off those motherfuckers. Another thing about e-cigs, another unbiased opinion that people might make is. There's been surveys taken on high school kids saying that I think it was like, I'm not going to start saying percentages either, but it's a higher percentage of kids saying that they would try e-cigs before they try cigarettes.
Yeah, but that makes sense to me just because like aesthetically and like just like from an outside view, even if you know nothing about either of them, e-cigs seem cleaner. E-cigs like they look nicer.
But
yeah, like
isn't that shocking? When there's nicotine in these, like, if kids are getting so easily addicted to caffeine, how easy are they going to get addicted to nicotine? Especially, let's be honest, smoking is a lot more fun than drinking a cup of coffee.
Oh fuck yeah!
So kids start smoking electronic cigarettes, and maybe they're starting off with 0 milligrams of nicotine. Yeah. Whatever, that's cool. They're going to be like, I want to see what nicotine's about.
Yeah.
These kids are fucking buying $70 e-cigs, which is like a one-time payment, and then, you know, it is definitely less expensive to smoke e-cigs, but when like, who's to say 10 years from now, e-cigs don't get old, and kids are like, already addicted to nicotine, let's hop back on that tobacco wagon.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Isn't that a good thing, though, when you see, like, they're like, oh yeah, like, whatever percentage of students are like more willing to try e-cigarettes, like if e-cigarettes are relatively harmless as compared to cigarettes, isn't that kind of like
but you're talking about the difference between people who would not have any nicotine products, like they would not smoke cigarettes, but they're willing to try e-cigs, right? So it's like they're getting into nicotine.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm sure a lot of the people are made up of people who would have smoked cigarettes, but
if there was no other option,
e-cigarettes now, and now like.
Here's the thing, though. We're talking about monkey see, monkey do. Young kids seeing older kids smoking whatever.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, well, I want to smoke that. 7-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids don't have money for e-cigs.
Yeah.
That upfront payment for e-cigs.
It's still better than seeing, you know, like 17-year-olds smoking cigarettes and then
For
saying,
sure.
I want to smoke cigarettes.
For sure.
I know what you're saying.
But-
like, they might go to cigarettes as a replacement.
And I get what you're saying too. You're saying like kids are wise enough now to realize that there's a healthier alternative. But 10 years down the road, it's not going to be such a topic. It's not going to be such a conversation for kids. So when little kids see older people smoking e-cigs, what if they're like, e-cigs?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure.
I'm
sure.
I'm harder if I smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure.
Because kids want to feel bad, man. Kids want to feel like they're doing bad shit.
Even though they know it's horrible, that's why they want it.
That's what I did as a kid, man. That feeling that you got when you were fucking watching that porn on the computer, and you're like, oh yeah, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, man. I remember like a fucked up conversation I had with my buddy in junior high, because like for some reason I like got into porn like kind of late in my life, and like my buddy was telling me about how much he loves porn, and he was just like, yeah, but like I can only jerk off if there's someone else in the house, and I was just like,
whoa.
I was like appalled. I was like,
this is weird. You should never hang out with this guy. Yeah.
He's a nice guy, but like
He's a
he was
weird
talking
guy,
about just
man.
like he was talking about how much fun the thrill of knowing that you might get caught is, and like I understand
Okay.
I understand that point of view, because it's like, you know, like when I was in junior high, I'd be like trespassing and shit, and like it's fun because you might get caught. Like you're doing something bad and you might get caught. Like,
Yeah,
he obviously took it in a weird direction, but I know what he means.
Same as kids that are like, oh yeah, I want to like spray paint this building. I
Yeah,
mean, they're not killing a guy, but he's still being the bad kid, you know? He's still like...
He's the rebel.
Yeah, he's still getting that fulfillment.
He's getting all the bitches.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, kids are just not developed the same way that adults are, obviously. So
Yeah.
they just like feel that need to do bad things, and they don't understand the repercussions. So it's like, if we can lessen these evils that they're into, then fuck it, that's what we should do.
I don't know, but it's like you can't say that there aren't adults who are the same way, where it's like they just want to be the bad guy.
Oh, because some adults are just shitheads.
Yeah.
They're just born shitheads. They're just never raised.
They don't
properly.
mature.
Just shitheads.
They don't grow. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't grow up.
People who just never got out of that like phase.
They
But
are-
it's like the connotations change, because like when I was in elementary and I saw a kid like doing something bad, I'd be like, oh shit, like he's cool.
Yeah.
But now it's like if I see like a 30-year-old man like fucking spray painting a wall, I like immediately judge him. I'm like, don't you have something better?
Yeah,
to
you're
do?
like, fuck that guy.
Like no hate on graffiti, because like that's cool, like legit graffiti
Oh,
artists.
Oh, if it's good.
But if I see a guy like doing a swastika on like the fucking side of an elementary school and he's like 30, I'm like, man, like you really didn't go anywhere, did you?
Fucking penis.
Yeah, like
One of those like not even like a good penis, like one of those penises you drew in like grade 8.
yeah, like a brief outline.
the
of
one
a
that
penis.
looks like a bone.
Yeah,
and the janitor had to pressure wash it off the wall.
Yeah.
It's like these fucking kids, but he's really
fucking penises.
But at the same time, he's like, yeah, I chuckled about this before the kids came in this morning.
Yeah, like he sees it and he thinks it's funny, but then he's pissed. He's got this like evolution.
yeah.
Being a janitor at like an elementary school would be an interesting job.
Yeah, it would be. You think?
Just like think about all the, because it's like you're not a teacher, you don't directly influence a kid.
No.
But you like kind of see them grow up from afar. Like you remember kids from like primary, but like you remember them through the fucking shit they did to piss you off. So it's
Yeah.
like you see this kid like graduating and you're like, he puked on the floor in grade 1, like
I'd
bastard.
imagine it's a pretty fucking depressing job. I can't. I
It
can't
depends.
imagine being a lifer.
Yeah. I
Being
don't
a
know.
lifer at everything, at anything, would suck unless you have a really awesome job.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, but like, is there any job that's so awesome that being told like you're spending the rest of your life doing this isn't like at least mildly disappointing? Because it's like the
But we're talking about janitorial work.
yeah, that's true.
You're never gonna be satisfied
Cool,
cleaning
you
up,
get
cleaning
to
up kids'
watch,
shit.
You get to watch a couple kids grow old, but like
Yeah.
that's kind of like
And like,
that's
man,
creepy.
some of the shit they have to deal with. It's like I remember in elementary school, a kid was like writing shit on the wall with like his own feces.
with his own shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like-
I remember kids that used to like they would take shits into toilet paper, wrap it up in toilet paper, dip it in or like run it under the sink and then whiff it at the wall. Kids did that like every week.
Wait.
Man, I never experienced that. But like,
Yeah, you did this. Like your recollection.
never did
Your
this.
recollection is
I
way
never
too
did this.
specific.
I could name the kids that did it. I'm not going to.
don't name them here.
I know,
I'm not
snitch.
going to. Obviously, but they were some. Yeah, there's still some There's still some sort of fucked up when I
The
hear
thought
about
of like having to deal with that too. It's like I've worked in like a retail position where I did have to do like cleaning kind of stuff, but it wasn't with like children, right? Because like kids, they have no limit. Like they will do some messed up stuff just because they don't know any better.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but at the same time, when adults do messed up stuff, it's that much more depressing.
Yeah, like if an adult does something, you want to just straight up be like, why? Like, why have you done this?
Like, you're 40 and you're putting your shit on the wall. How did you drive yourself here? You know what I mean? Like,
when you were fucking 6, did you look into the future and was this the person you wanted to be?
Like, do you even know what taxes are? Do you pay? Do you know?
Here's the thing, though. I've noticed some people in their like maybe their early adult years.
Yeah. Like,
they spent their whole school like life, like like elementary, junior high, high school, living by what their parents told them to do, by what everyone else told them to do, and then all of a sudden they have this like sudden freedom where they get a fucking student loan, like a $5,000, whatever, and they just start doing everything they didn't get to fucking do as a kid.
I have so many buddies who like they grew up like real sheltered, you know, and then like they go away for university, and then like next
all
time,
of a sudden they're just their house is
like I check in with them, I'm like, hey man, like are you still like into playing the saxophone? He's like, nah man, sold it for weed. And I'm like, oh, like,
nah man, sold it for weed.
I'm like,
I know those guys.
Sweet dude, like.
He's like, I was fucking straight A's in high school. Now all I want to do is have a cheap apartment, work in retail, and have enough money for weed.
Oh, I hate those people, man. I hate those like dead end people
who their life is like their drug. You know what I mean? Like
it's just like their life at any one point is what they want their life to be forever.
Yeah.
Where they just kind of give up and they're like, well, this is okay. I'm just gonna do this
happy with this. It's like you don't even want to like try to make your life a little bit better. Like you work at a fucking minimum wage job and it's like you never make rent. Like you're not even gonna try.
No.
Like you gotta progress, really.
Yeah.
As shitty as that sounds, life is just all about.
That's what it's all about. Like if you're ever at a point where you're not trying to make your situation any better, like you're kind of fucked.
Oh yeah.
What's the point? You wake up every day, do the same shit. What's the point?
Yeah.
Really?
Like why get stuck like that? Why not try and make it better, right?
Mm.
Yeah. You should never be bored with life. Like life should never bore you.
So what's like a dream job? Like if you could do one job,
oh man,
where you would be like if you could like wake up tomorrow and you were in your like best scenario, if you were just like a job I love, what would you do?
Fuck.
There's
that's
so
a hard
many
one, man.
There are obviously all the like stupid ones, like beer taster, mattress tester.
Yeah,
like,
you don't.
That's real. That's real.
You don't want to sound super pretentious. You want to be like, I want to be a writer, change culture. You
that's
wanna,
my dream job.
But what the fuck would you do? Like, what would you?
Like when I was a kid, I would always say astronaut, but it's like. At this point, there's too much to leave behind.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to be an astronaut.
I want to be a fireman. Like,
I don't know. Like, there are so many dream jobs for me, but it's like they all have their ups and downs. I honestly think like working with film would be like an incredible thing, but it's like the kind of job that I want doesn't really exist because it's like I'd want to be the kind of filmmaker or like like doing anything like special effects whatever where there's like no pressure, but it's like there's obviously gonna be pressure from like the studio.
That's my problem, and I'm sure both like all of us would agree because we all play instruments, make movies, whatever. But as soon as you make your love or passion a form of making money, its purity goes away.
Yeah.
It becomes a task. You're not doing it for its own sake. You're not doing it because you love it anymore. You're doing it because you have to.
Some people do love it, but there's things that you can't get back. Like you can't get the freedom of like doing your own thing back. Like it kind of becomes someone else's thing once you're like on that level, right?
Yeah. To a certain point.
Yeah,
sure, yeah. But I feel like that is like I know that sounds corny and I know it's fucking girls fucking do selfies and post it under their selfies and some inspirational
this is like a Marilyn Monroe quote
but like because realistically you spend most of your life working and you spend most of your life doing something you have to do to make money and survive. So I feel like doing a job that you actually want to do is like realistically the only way to live a happy life, I think.
To live a like completely happy life where like every minute is joy.
Yeah, where not just your free times, because fucking nowadays, man, everybody works 5 days a week. You get 2 days off on the weekend. You get 2 weeks vacation a year in fucking North America where we live. Like, even if your free time is like max happy, if you're doing a job you don't like, you're just not gonna have a good life overall. Like, it's just fucked. Just the way we have it set up, it's just like you spent the majority of your life just doing things that you don't want to do because you have to live like you have to survive, you have to live, and you have to make money.
No one loves their job completely though. Like everybody.
I'm sure some people. No, I'm sure
I don't
some
believe
people
that.
do.
Yeah,
I'm sure some. People
I don't know. I think every job, no matter how perfect, is gonna have some aspects where it's like, yeah, but I don't like having to do this.
Oh yeah, for sure. But for people doing a job they love, like nothing's ever perfect. They're gonna do things. There's aspects of their job that they hate, but overall,
tedious work, like
paperwork and like fucking sending emails and shit to some asshole you don't care about because you have to to progress your career.
Yeah.
But
some like manager you have to impress, some boss you have to fucking show off.
There's always someone to impress. Like
you just want to tell them to go fuck themselves, but for your career's sake, you have to say thank you and please in an email. It's just how life works nowadays. It's fucked. Unless you're super rich and you're the boss of things, like you're just gonna have to do things you don't like. That's just a part of life. Really.
I hate writing emails. Like you just mentioned emails, I absolutely hate writing them. Like if
I get stressed when I get emails.
Yeah, if I have to email like a professor because like they emailed me and they're like, hey, like Joe, are you gonna go to this event or whatever? And I have to email them. I'm like, fuck, how do I start it? Like hi, hello, and it's like, what name do I use? How do I sign it? I never know how to do emails well.
Yeah.
It's just a source of stress.
Fucking emails, man.
Yeah,
I'm only happy unless I'm getting a fucking. I'm only happy if I'm getting it. PSN network, thanks for your purchase email. Like that.
That's just angelic.
Yeah, if it's not junk mail from Nintendo, I'm pretty stressed about it.
Yeah,
basically.
I'm pretty stressed. Like it's usually a pretty dire subject. It's you need to do this now.
Yeah, it's like you better pay your credit card $86 this month, and you're like, I don't have $86.
Sometimes like my email will ding like on my phone or whatever, and I won't want to check it because I'm like, I'm 90% sure this is gonna be something that's gonna ruin my day.
Yeah, it's not a friend being like, hey, let's go out tonight. There's this crazy concert. It's like
nobody emails.
You owe us $132.
Or like if I didn't pass something in for like university or whatever, and then I see the emails from like Professor like Atkinson, and I'm like, fuck, like I don't want to open this right now because I know what it's gonna say.
There's nothing that pisses me off more aside from emails than an unknown number, man. When you get an unknown number, who the fuck is calling me? Like who calls anymore? First of all,
honestly, like phone calls. Like I know it's such like a stupid like new generation thing to say, but like phone calls stress me out pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah, I mean I don't even have like I don't have caller ID or anything, but like when I call from anybody now. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you text me?
Yeah.
Like, why am I having to play the guessing game right now?
Very often, if I'm getting a call from an unknown number, I won't even want to pick up. I'll be like,
I don't. Yeah. I never do. I have caller ID.
I sketch out. I'm like,
perfect.
Yeah.
I just don't pick up.
Or like, I'm getting a call from Ontario, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I don't want to risk it.
Yeah, I'll pick up and just like hope for the best. Really.
Yeah.
It's a risky game to play.
Usually it's a debt collector for me.
Honestly, I think like my number is somewhere on the internet, and it's just like call this guy and fucking annoy him with like products and stuff.
Oh, dude, you know what my sister told me the other day, man?
Yeah, go ahead.
She told me about this website. I don't know if you boys ever heard about this. It's fucked.
Facebook?
No, it's called like. I think it's called Black Book.
Does it like get you removed from like?
No, it's a place where your exes can go with your picture and just like post a couple pictures of you or something like that, and pretty much just like notify. It's a place for women to go, or men, I guess, whatever the fuck you're into. I don't know, man. I could probably go on there and do it, whatever.
Yeah.
But you go there and you kind of just search a person's name. And you get a little description about how shitty they are.
Oh, that's horrible, man.
Yeah, you go on there and you just rip someone apart.
And the thing is, you said that it's for like people who recently broke up, so like you're gonna be bitter. Like even if I had an amazing relationship with someone, the day after we broke up, if you ask me, I'll be like, yeah, man, like she's a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
You better look at Joe. He cleans his earrings with a match.
It's true, I do.
Fuck Joe, man.
Yeah, like my fucking profile is like, this guy cleans his earrings with a used match. It's gross.
Yeah, just to give you some context, this is what happened before we started recording.
I was cleaning my earrings with a match.
So. With a match, and then chewing on the match.
Yeah, it was a different match.
You're like the Marlboro cowboy, bro.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like, how fucked is that?
That's
I feel like
I don't
that's like
know.
a bit too extreme. Like, why does that have to exist? Like,
Well,
really?
Yeah.
That comes to the point where like technology can obviously be used for some really fucked up
Well,
things.
there's a line though, because I understand posting like this guy cheated on me, or like, you know, like this guy
Yeah.
like fucking like abused my son and like shit like that. But the thing is, that's not what it's gonna be used for. 1 in every 1,000 posts is gonna be worth, and then like there's gonna be so many that are just like
They're just all gonna be like, he had a little dick, fuck this guy.
yeah, he ignored my needs and like shit like that, and it's like that's
Yeah.
so vague. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a weird thing.
I just think it's kind of twisted.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like Rate My Prof. Like
Rate My Prof is great.
I like Rate My Prof.
That's how I pick all of my
But I
classes.
find sometimes they're like way too extreme. They're like, I couldn't understand a fucking word he said. He's an idiot. He never said anything interesting. And
It's just some idiot who got a D, and for
Yeah,
some reason it's
exactly.
everybody else's fault. And he's like,
but
fuck that.
but the thing is, if you read like 20 reviews of a prof, you kind of get a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gonna be the outliers.
I say it's a little bit fucked, but then when I think about it, and definitely it's kind of like how I think about like Tinder, Plenty of Fish, anything where you go online and you kind of put yourself out there. 80 to 90% of the people on there are kind of just like, you know, they're on there because they have nothing else to
Yeah,
do.
like they don't
and
care.
yeah, like the people who comment on YouTube videos. When you're reading the comments, on YouTube
Yeah.
videos, that's the people who watched you and hated you.
Yeah.
They're just like those people that are like, this is disgusting. I have to let everybody know that this is a bad
man.
video. And then they fucking log in and they post their little shitty troll comments. And they're like, fuck these guys, man. I don't like these guys. Just fucking go to some other video that you like.
Yep.
Yeah, like I understand constructive criticism, but the thing is, it never is. It's
No.
never constructive. It's always just like, ugh, shit video. Like I left a dislike just so you know, and it's like relax.
Well, that's like the whole thing about the internet, though. It's just totally anonymous, so it's just obviously going to bring out the shittiest side of
that's
people.
true.
Where they're like, I have no accountability for this. I can say whatever I want.
It's kind of worrying that when we aren't accountable for the things that we do, we instantly turn into complete shitheads.
Into animals.
Yeah.
It can't-
The animals that
Yeah.
we like truly are, because people
Yeah.
are just animals, and I think we forget that.
It kind of just shows how deep down everybody's really shitty.
Well, it's just like, okay, I don't want to say like everybody's really shitty.
Because a lot of people don't comment.
That's true, but like
More people than not do not comment.
Oh, definitely.
A
It's
lot
a-
of
it's
people
a-
are fucking
it's like a-
fine.
silent majority with like a very vocal minority. But it's like
That was some deep
sometimes
shit. That was
it's
some
not
deep
it's not necessarily like everybody who when given the chance will be a piece of shit if they're anonymous. It's just like if you're good your entire life and then you like, you know, post like a fucking racial slur or whatever in a YouTube comment, you get like a weird high off of it. Like I'm not using myself as an example obviously, but it's just like
Well, yeah.
I-
It's like we were talking. You do something bad.
yeah,
you
doing
feel
the
good
bad
about
thing.
it.
I understand how some people they just do it for like the thrill,
Yeah.
but like it's still fucked up. Obviously, like, it's a bad thing to do.
A lot of those people, though, too, like posting racial slurs and homophobic comments are just they're people alone in their basement.
They're just people who would never do that in real life, but
Yeah.
then they have like anonymity, so they're just like, yeah,
They're
I'm
given
gonna
the
do whatever I want.
chance, and like they get this crazy thrill because they've never done it before,
Because
right?
they know they'd get slapped up.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a lot of it is just like a cry for attention, and they're just like
Yeah.
they want people, good or bad, to comment on their comments.
Well, that's the
and
whole like
just
concept,
like
isn't it? That you're just doing it to start like a big argument, right?
Yeah. People love to argue.
Oh yeah, I love. arguing.
I don't believe one person when they tell me they don't like to argue, man.
Everybody loves to argue.
Either
dude.
you don't like to, either you love to argue or you're just too dumb to argue.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I don't know.
basically, yeah.
Arguing's weird though, because it's like you get like if you're in like an argument with someone who's like really ignorant, they're just like not accepting your viewpoint at all. It's like you're pissed and like you're angry, but you kind of love it still.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like you're like, man, like this guy is like pissing me off so much, but goddamn, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
I think everybody just likes to be heard, and YouTube for a lot of people is just their way of being heard. Like I'm sure a lot of the fucking trolls on YouTube are people that just like have no way of getting their opinions out there. So as soon as they have an anonymous fucking thing to get their opinions out there without any repercussions, they're just gonna do
They
it.
lash out.
Yeah.
Like that didn't exist before. Like there was no way before, like, you know, the internet and stuff like that, to just like publish like an opinion and just have the entire like world community.
You could
be
get
able to
thrown in
access
jail for a certain opinion.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like before the internet, you could just they would just shut you down real quick.
I don't know. It's weird, like what the internet did to
We
the world.
but we live in a world where people are getting fucking thrown off buildings because they were born homosexual.
Yeah, that's
I think
it's fucking crazy.
I think the best part of the internet is like how it can rally people, and as much shit as the internet causes, I think it causes more good than
I think
evil.
it causes more good, but like the point of rallying, I know what you mean, because it's like if you're part of a very minority community, like say you're like a connoisseur of like model trains in a town of 100, like there's no one you can talk to about what you're into, but when you go on the internet you can always find someone else who's into the same thing. But there are bad sides of that too.
Not only that, man, like look at like Arab Spring, for example.
Yeah.
And look at like all the backlash against bullying and all the like positive changes that the internet has kind of created.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely done a lot of good, and I think more often than not, good is going to come from the internet.
But in the same way that you can find people to like support you in, you know, like whatever you need, you can also find people to like support bad things, you know, like
of course.
Like if you were like really into like, I don't know, like meth or whatever, you can find like a community of meth heads online where you can all like talk about how much you love meth.
A meth forum.
Yeah, man, there's a meth forum.
I'm sure there's lots of meth forums.
Drugforum.com is like all those sub drug culture. Yeah, drug forum.
That's a real website.
Definitely.
I don't know if it's .com. It's drug forum.
I would believe that 100%.
All the people who get into drugs, that's where you go to ask your questions. Blah blah blah.
And it validates that,
before
right?
they sell their computers for heroin.
Yeah, exactly.
Like before they get to that point.
Before they do all that.
But it validates things, right? Like if you were really into like some messed up stuff, then you can find people online who are into the same stuff, and it validates what you believe.
It's good, man.
It makes it feel normal. It's good, but it can also be bad.
And I get what Matt's saying.
Yeah.
The internet does a lot of incredible stuff for people.
Oh, definitely, man.
And
I've seen some incredible things. Like
I'm kind of a realist. Like I can be a pessimist. I can be an optimist.
Yeah.
I like to be an optimist. I like to think that, and like I know that it's a world full of bad, but I like to think that good is conquering. I like to think that good is making. It's kind of like the night sky, man. It's pitch black besides the stars. Those stars are like kind of symbolic towards the good in the world.
It's beautiful.
More stars are constantly being made.
This is so beautiful right now, man.
No, I completely agree.
You know what I mean? Like
I completely agree with you.
Stars are constantly being made. Good people are constantly being made, and they're constantly trying to get their voice out there. But positive opinions are moving forward.
Well, I think inevitably, like the logical conclusion of like where the human race is heading right now is just like good, right?
Yep.
Well, people. I mean, it's easy to look at problems, especially now where like the dissemination of information is just crazy. Like you can go online, you can Google any fucking thing. How tall Katy Perry is? You can Google anything. Like it's just crazy how far dissemination. It's easy to say, you know, the world is shit right now because the Islamic State exists, or like this
North Korea.
North Korea, or whatever the fuck it is. But I think at the same time, it's like
there's a lot of good shit. Like
there's a lot of good shit, man. Think of like viral videos that raise money, like startups that raise money for homeless people. They have one viral video, they raise money, and all of a sudden homeless people have a home. Like there's a lot of good stuff that comes from the internet. I think we live in the most peaceful time we've ever had, but it's easy to say that the world is fucked and that we're all headed in a downward spiral because of how the media is.
It's a cop-out to say that like, oh, the world's fucked, like there's nothing we can do about it. It's like, do something.
Let me ask you this. I've thought about this a lot over the years, and I still don't have like a conclusion.
Anything I'm gonna figure it out in like 5 minutes.
No, but I mean, I just want to like get your opinions. Maybe you've thought about this before. Is it kind of like an instinctual thing for people to automatically head toward the negative because depression and just negativity is kind of can kind of be an addiction and like a romantic idea? Like the idea of just being like so depressed where you're just crying for help and like you'll take anything you can get. Like that's kind of like romanticized.
No, depression is completely romanticized. The whole idea of like a sad kid in his room writing poetry is like, wow, that sounds amazing, but it's like the whole idea is that it's suffering, right?
That's every rock star's story.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. I mean, think of all like the artists, and I mean just art in general. It's like all of the great artists you can think of, like Van Gogh and people like that, like suffering is kind of what made their art great in a way. It's a weird thing, but suffering kind of brings up strange emotions.
Artists are tortured souls, and like all that art is really just like trying to represent your emotions through like a different medium, right? Like whether it's painting or songwriting or whatever. And like despair is probably the strongest emotion that people feel, that and like love. So that's why the majority of like songs, poems, paintings are either about like despair or love. It's either like, oh, I want to kill myself, or ooh, I'm in love with this girl, right?
In terms of music, where do you, like, you guys know like rock and roll came from the blues?
Yeah.
Like that's the roots of rock and roll. The blues, like that's just depression. Yeah. That's just people being like
the blues, which was straight up like the entire genre was like sadness,
and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I totally get that. I mean, like people make fun of artists like Drake, for example, because they're like, oh yeah, he's too emotional. He's a fucking crybaby. But I think that
Drake, Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
all those people, and they're just...
Okay, first of all, fuck Taylor Swift.
I
know what you mean. It's like, yeah, people make fun of those people, but I think emotion is a very important part of art.
That's what art is.
Art is really just expression.
Yeah, it's expressing, like, it's trying to make people feel things. It's trying to make people feel what you want them to feel. So it's like, you can write a sad song, but it's only a really, really good sad song if when you're listening to it, you feel sad. Like, you have to feel what they're feeling, right?
And like, let's take... Okay, so you mentioned Drake. Drake is R&B and hip-hop, a mixture of that. Coming from, like, a mixture of, like, Memphis, Tennessee, and Toronto rap music. So... Like how we mentioned the blues, I'm not likening Drake unto Robert Johnson or like anyone who like helped father the blues.
Yeah, B.B. King or anybody.
Yeah, but like Drake kind of took hip hop and took it from like fuck bitches get money, blah 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 blah, to it's okay to share your emotions. That doesn't mean you're not a fucking man.
Yeah, I don't think it's like. We shouldn't completely simplify like earlier rap to like fuck bitches get money, but I completely see where you're coming from. Where it's like Drake kind of
don't like name me that. I know.
Yeah.
I know, but like
Drake kind of injected.
That's how people seen early rap. People who didn't get rap seen it that way.
Yeah. How many times have I told someone that like I listen to rap music and they're like, oh, I don't like that because it's just like black guys talking about like fucking hoes. And I'm like, wow, like you've never actually heard a rap song.
So you don't have an idea what rap's about then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's some like that, obviously, but
for
like,
sure, yeah. But they're not real like rappers. They're the rappers who aren't here right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's what's commercial. That's what sells stuff. Yeah. And that's what a lot of rap albums. That's what we hear. But then there's the occasional song where it's like they're talking about real stuff, and it's like emotional shit, and then that's what really resonates. I think.
Like, I like Drake. I'm not like a huge Drake fan. I don't like actively listen to him, but I like him, and I do completely agree that I think he injected like this new kind of style, and I feel like
everyone's singing.
Yeah, even right now I'm seeing like so many like weird like post R&B singing guys who are like 100% Drake like inspired.
Why do you think fucking Eminem's got Rihanna and Skylar Grey and all these fucking girls singing his choruses? Because he knows that that's the thing now. He knows that people are okay with emotion now.
I saw a great bit on YouTube a while ago, and it was Louis C.K. on one of the late night talk shows.
Yep.
And he's basically telling the story of how he was in a car. I mean, obviously it's funny and it's anecdotal, but it's a story of him, how he was in a car and a sad song came on and he just started fucking crying. He had to pull over, he was crying. And then afterwards, he was like, wow, like I'm truly, like I'm happy now. Like after I got all that shit out of me, I'm fucking happy. I think really though, I mean, people get a lot of shit for listening to like depressing music or whatever, but I feel like sad songs in a weird way kind of make people feel better.
Like, what are the most famous plays of all time? Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, complete tragedies. And like the reason those are written was they were going through this catharsis where you're just like, you know, you release all your emotions and you just kind of feel all right about it. Like you get it all out. Like people loved tragedies back in the day. That was like the shit to go see, was like a nice tragedy.
Well, because even today, man, one of the greatest films of all time, Titanic.
Yeah. All the like modern amazing
bold.
films have so much like despair injected
Bold.
into them.
That's
It's a bold
bold.
statement.
It's a bold statement, but it's okay. I should say one of the top grossing movies of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, arguably one of.
Arguably one of the most classic
If
films of
going
all
from
time.
critic reviews.
If you listen to Money, one of the biggest films of all time.
Yeah,
without
but
doubt.
there's a. I mean,
That's
there's a
because
reason
the sadness
movies get-
sells. Like
Yeah.
Titanic's a complete tragedy. You know from the beginning that everybody's fucked, right? And it sells. Like people love horror. And like, why do you think people are so fascinated reading stories? Like, oh, did you hear like that elementary school burned down? Like 30 kids died. People love that shit. They love the like intense sadness.
I think I think a lot of it has to do with just realizing what you take for granted.
Yeah.
Because we live in such a fucking.
It makes you more thankful for like what you have.
Yeah, a society where we just take everything for granted.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that too.
We hate our cell phones. I hate my cell phone. It's not fucking.
Yeah, fuck you.
Sending my text message in 2 seconds.
Yeah, fuck you. Cell phones are great.
Yeah, I love cell phones, man.
I might be staring at my cell phone more than I look at people, but at the same time, I can fucking learn anything on my cell
I
phone.
can call my mom for free like whenever I want.
Yeah,
it's not free, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Endless minutes.
I acknowledge the downsides that cell phones have. Like, yeah, it pisses me off when I'm trying to talk to someone and they're just like staring at their phone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like people who are like, yeah, like fuck the modern world, like cell phones ruined our lives. We can't socialize. I'm like, man, I could tell you fucking how tall Jay-Z is right now. Like,
yeah, that's stupid. It's like
I can Google that shit immediately.
Go back to sending letters and tell me how great that is.
People are like, man,
fucking 2
I wish I
months.
could live in the old times. I'm like, where you would have had polio? Like, you wish you could live when polio was a thing? Like,
There was no heating and people threw their shit out of windows, so you had to walk on the outside.
I see
of the
these girls
sidewalk.
like taking pictures with like the bright red lipstick, and they're like, "Oh, like I wish I lived in the 40s.
But
like
at
the
the
40s would be amazing."
At the same time, think about how romantic. Like, we're talking about cell phones and how we love them, but at the same time, there's cons to cell phones. Just like back in the day, it's kind of romantic or like cool or whatever to think about. You want to see someone so bad, you walk for miles just to throw a fucking rock at their window and be like, "Hey, fucking, I want to see you. I know your dad hates me because I'm a fucking Catholic, and your dad's a fucking whatever.
Your dad's a Protestant. He
Your dad's
doesn't
a
agree.
Protestant, but like, I want to see you right now."
Well, we romanticize like everything from the past, like completely. Like
Yeah.
that's like think about like video games and shit like that. It's like the kind of video games that people love the most are the ones where like you get to go on an adventure and like you kill monsters with a sword and shit like that.
Yeah, and I mean, people are talking shit about video games, and they're like, oh, well, people don't want to go outside and play anymore, and people don't want to do this. But at the same time, it's like, it's just entertainment. It's just it's an interactive form of entertainment.
I don't know. It's like they're definitely more accepted now. But like new media and stuff like that is always kind of like hated for a while.
Well, for a while there, I was extremely anti like video game. Honestly, man, I was just like, what's the point? Where am I getting?
Yeah.
But like all of a sudden, I just picked up a PS4 or whatever, and I have something to talk about with my buddies. I can play online with my buddies.
And, like,
I can hang out with them even when they can't be with me.
It's fun. Video games are fun. I'm not like a huge gamer. I don't spend like a ton of time on it.
No, but when I do, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have a good time with it. I enjoy it, and like I understand like that there are downsides. Obviously, like some people pour their entire lives into these games. Some people spend like crazy amount of money on them and stuff.
It's addiction, man. Everyone's addicted to something, and you're always gonna complain about that. Oh, he's smoking too much. He spends so much money on smokes. He can't come out for a beer with me.
Vin Diesel used to be addicted to World of Warcraft. I was reading about that online. It blew my mind. I guess there's actually like a lot of famous people who get addicted to World of Warcraft because it's just like
it's a way to pretend to be someone.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can go into this like virtual world and you can just like do whatever you want, right?
It's a way to escape their fucking celebrity life.
Yeah, and it's like they're so bored, right? Because like Vin Diesel has so much free time. Like he's just looking to like burn a few hours away. He'll just go play WoW. There are videos of Vin Diesel and Paul Walker playing like WoW together, like super early, and it's like from their like point of view in the game. It's so funny because like you can read the chat and they're just like, "Lol, like gonna go kill this dragon." And it's like, that's Groot.
Well, there's no paparazzi in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's true.
They don't have to go into
Not
a
yet,
shopping
not
mall
yet.
and wear fucking
Mila
hoodies
Kunis.
and sunglasses.
Mila Kunis was addicted to World of Warcraft.
Who?
Mila Kunis.
Oh, Malagunas.
Mila?
Okay.
Oh, Meg off Family Guy.
Yeah. I just didn't hear you right.
Yeah.
Mila.
Mila?
I say Mila.
I think I say
Mila.
Mila.
I think I say Mila.
I think I might say Mila. Anyway, you were gonna say something like 5 minutes ago.
Imagine how fucked paparazzi is, man.
Oh god, that's insane.
Wouldn't you just want to fucking hit someone, man?
And it's like the thing is, they'll like get in your face and be like, yeah, like is it true you're gay? Like is it true that like you hooked up with like this guy? Is it true you eat dogs? And then when you get to the point when you're like, man, like please back off, and you like give them a light shove, headlines all around the world like celebrity shoves paparazzi,
They love that shit.
Viciously attacks him.
They love that shit because they know that if you fucking shove a paparazzi, all the other paparazzis are like, I'm taking 100 photos of this, and they're gonna sell for 10 times
worldwide.
what I
Like
normally
man,
sell.
one of the most like viral videos of like our modern time was that one where Justin Bieber like yelled at that paparazzi guy.
Oh, he tried to like fight him.
Yeah,
or
which was
whatever.
like obviously like Justin Bieber was being an idiot and
Little
stuff.
bitch boy Justin Bieber.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was being an idiot, but like think about how fucked that is. That like he was obviously just lashing out because they were like bugging him, and that instantly became like the biggest scoop of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what I think about Justin Bieber.
It's so easy to just say Justin Bieber is a piece of shit.
I-
But at the same time, he halfway grew up, and then all of a sudden everybody was like, you're amazing, you're the best guy ever, here's a bunch of money. So, I mean, obviously you're gonna fucking grow up like a shit.
I know. I used to defend him a little bit. Like I used to be like, yeah, like he's doing what any rich kid would do if they had that much money.
Yeah.
But then like every once in a while I read like a headline where I actually have to like stop and be like, man, like he might actually be just like a massive piece of shit.
I think he's a piece of shit, but I don't think it's totally his fault.
And,
I
like,
think a lot of
here-
people have made him a piece of shit.
Here's my thing that I used to say, like in defense of him, is like, you're a kid. We watched him go through puberty.
Yeah.
First of all, that's like huge for a guy. And you know what? I was one of the kids. You guys were one of the kids that were on his videos. I don't know if you guys commented. I know I commented it. Just like,
Wait, what
this
the
guy's
hell?
a fucking loser.
Yeah.
This guy's a little weirdo.
I didn't comment, but like I 100% like oh Justin Bieber, that squeaky voice little
Yeah.
like nerd, like I would rip on him.
If you were becoming rich, all the little girls liked you, and there were a bunch of dudes hating on you, calling you a fucking loser, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Don't you think that those people are like have a high percentage to blame
Yeah, I don't
for the
know.
reason that he turned out the way he is? Like,
I mean, he's gonna be a piece of
I know
shit.
it's the money. I know like he's rich, and that can like that's gonna make you pretentious and make you like arrogant.
Honestly,
blah,
like
blah,
he's
blah.
having fun. Like he probably
He's
loves
having
his
fun.
life.
Yeah, he's
But
doing good.
at the same time, he's got so much shit that obviously anybody who's like, fuck Justin Bieber is gonna be like, what the fuck you say?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like-
I don't know. Like I do think he's a piece of shit. Like I think he's done some things that are just like kind of like garbage. But at the same time, it's like I don't think he's inherently a bad person. I think the situation that he's in made him bad.
I think he's a shitty person, but I think it's not his fault
He
entirely.
used to say a fucking. I watched the movie when I was younger. Like,
Oh,
I watched
never
it,
say
yeah.
never.
No,
You
I
watched
watched it.
I never
watched
saw it.
like-
I never saw it. I wanted to.
I've
though.
seen it. I watched the Katy Perry movie. I never watched like any of the. Those are the two I watched, but like. He used to say like a fucking family prayer before he went on stage every night.
Yeah?
Like, he was a religious kid. Like he was
Shit.
all about God. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I remember. I read this interview. Like, this isn't me like calling out Justin Bieber for being like a piece of shit or whatever. But just like I read this interview about him being like against abortion, and it was for like religious reasons completely. And like I wasn't aware that he was religious. But reading that, I was like, shit. Like I guess he's serious about his faith.
Yeah.
No, I think he's a piece of shit.
I don't know how abortion would look.
Okay, well we're not talking about that. I don't know. Justin Bieber. It's like he's definitely like not a great guy. But at the same time, I do wonder if I would do the same if I was given like that much power. Because it's like you hear about him like peeing in a plant at a restaurant or whatever.
Drunk kid, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I would,
It's like
I would do something like that.
If I had a buddy who got drunk at a bar and peed in a plant, I wouldn't be like, oh, like you're a piece of shit. Like how dare you do that?
I'd be like, oh, that's a funny
I'd
story.
be like, that's a crazy story. Like that's funny. And like for Justin Bieber, that could have been just a crazy story. But because he's Justin Bieber, it turned into like, oh, that's so disrespectful. Like I'm not saying like it's obviously a shitty thing to do, but it's not like that's defining his entire character.
Well, I think especially like growing up in your formative years, and you have all these fucking people telling you things like one side of people is like, fuck you, you're the worst guy ever, and then millions of people are like, no,
Like
fucking Justin
worship
Bieber,
him.
I
Yeah.
love him, man, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna turn out pretty fucked up. Whether or not you try your best.
Famous
fucking-
people are all like.
I can be a fucking cocky shit myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't
I
have
don't
20
even-
million
I don't
followers
have
on
20
Twitter.
million followers.
I have maybe 30 followers on Twitter, and I'm a very cocky guy sometimes.
Joe's real shitty.
I'm a real piece of shit, honestly.
Joe's a fucking slut too.
It's true. Yeah, but just like on the subject of Justin Bieber.
Hashtag no slut shaming.
Yeah, that's true. On the subject of Justin Bieber, it's like, I wonder about how he's gonna end up when he's older, because it's like, will he look back and will he like regret what he did, or is he just gonna be like, yeah, like I did it to have fun? Like,
No, he'll be a Donald Trump old guy who's like, fuck everybody, I'm rich. He'll be that fucking
Donald
guy.
Trump's a
What
piece
blows,
of shit.
We
what
did it
blows
to
my mind is he made like how many like studio albums does he have? Like maybe like 3 or something. Is it?
I'd say 4.
I don't
Four
count.
maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but he could fucking do modeling the rest of his life and be rich.
He's already a model, eh?
Yeah, he's a model, man.
Oh, man,
Like, he
Jordan-
could do
with
modeling
Calvin
the rest of
Klein
his
loves
life.
him.
With Calvin Klein. Man. Yeah, Jordan loves Justin Bieber. By
No,
the way.
but like he is so set
Oh,
from the
God,
time he
yeah.
was like 15. He could be a model.
He
like,
could
right
go
now.
door to door and be like,
Just
"Hi, I'm
for
Justin
the rest of
Bieber.
his
Give
life.
me $100," and
Yeah.
people would do it. Like
Yeah.
he's set, man. And like one interesting thing is most famous people have to have kind of like a wacky personality to begin with, because like to put yourself out there like that and become famous,
You have to be marketable.
Yeah, you have to be marketable. You have to be like really confident and like honestly a little bit crazy. But he became famous because of like his YouTube videos or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
so he wasn't out there looking for fame. Fame was kind of thrust upon him.
Yeah.
So because of that, I feel like he's almost he's like a different kind of celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like he's not the kind of guy who was like hyping up his own blog and like trying to make it big. Like he kind of accidentally became huge.
Wasn't he the little shithead that went to Usher and was like, yo, Usher, make me fucking famous?
I thought Usher went to
No,
him.
Usher
I don't
couldn't.
know.
No,
I
he
don't-
went to-
Actually,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was.
He was like doing talent shows and stuff. I remember reading all about
Somebody else wanted him. And maybe it was T.I. I don't know. It was somebody. One of them wanted
I remember
him.
that,
And then
actually.
Usher was like, I'll take...
It was Justin Timberlake, I think.
Justin Timberlake, yeah, that's
was-
it.
I
Justin
remember that.
Timberlake. He wanted him, and Usher was like, I'm gonna fucking give you what you need
Yeah.
to do, and he went with Usher. Just like a lot of people do, fucking...
Go with
Go with
Usher.
Usher. That's a normal thing to do.
You get a bunch of different business people, they're like, I'll
Yeah.
give you this and that, come with
Well,
me,
that's the
I'll
whole
take
concept
your
of the show,
fucking
The
percentage,
Voice,
blah,
right?
blah, blah. Yeah, and he ended up going with Usher, and that's just how it went. His YouTube videos is what got
Yeah.
the attention of those guys. Though.
Yeah. But the thing is, if you watch his YouTube videos, like, no hate, but they're pretty standard, honestly. Like,
Very standard.
he's a cute
Low
kid,
budget,
like, pretty
shitty
alright.
quality.
Yeah, like, pretty alright at guitar for his age, but, like, honestly,
I think he's more of a drummer, man. I think that was like his first instrument.
I remember seeing, like, a video of him playing acoustic guitar. I don't...
He definitely plays
Yeah.
guitar. I'm just like, I think
Who
like,
doesn't?
when he was 5, he started playing drums or something.
Yeah.
Maybe piano. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it was guitar, but it doesn't matter.
I think-
What is this,
interesting,
is this a Justin Bieber podcast?
The Justin
Yeah,
Bieber
whatever.
Show!
This is weird now. It's all Justin Bieber now. This is fucking
It's all about it.
strange.
That guy's been, he's been around with girls, too. I always think about,
You
like...
hate him or you love him, you're gonna talk about him.
Yeah, exactly. I always think about, like, if I was famous, like, how does hitting on girls go when you're famous?
Like, hey, I'm famous. You
Like-
want to tell your friends a story?
You
What's
just
up?
say hi.
Do you just
They
date
know.
other famous
Like-
people?
Oh my god! Like, they just do it.
I wonder, like,
It seems like I feel like that's the only way you could really like find someone who understands you. Like
dating another
you know what I mean?
famous-
There's nobody
Yeah.
who understands your life like someone who
yeah,
like
I
someone
always,
else who's famous.
I always see so many famous people who are like dating and marrying other famous people, and I always wonder, I'm like, wouldn't they want to be with someone more normal? But I think you're right that it's like, it's just commonality, right?
Take a look at like Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
the fuck did he ever get Mariah Carey?
I
That
don't know. It's
goofy
over
ass
now
guy.
anyway.
Yeah.
I know
Did
they're
they
over.
did
Yeah,
they
they're
divorce?
Yep.
Yeah, Mariah Carey.
She was
is,
like, wait, I'm Mariah Carey, and
Yeah,
he
she
was on
is.
Nickelodeon. He was on Nickelodeon.
No, I
so
think
fuck that guy.
I think she did that live performance, that Christmas song where she just like fucked up hard.
Yeah.
You guys see that?
No, I don't.
What did she
I
just
don't think
take
so.
it out on Nick Cannon? Like,
Oh,
fuck you, Nick Cannon.
like-
This is your
like,
fault.
Her runs were just terrible.
Really?
Like, she was just like, ah. Like,
Oh
was
no, yeah,
shit.
I did see that. Yeah,
And then Nick Cannon was like, I'm done.
I just saw like a quick clip of her.
Like, you can't do the dog sound anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mariah Carey.
I saw a quick clip of her like trying to hold a note that she used to be able to do like no problem, and
Yeah.
she just like failed miserably.
Yeah, and I don't like to judge people on like one performance. Like Beyonce did that the Super Bowl last year or something, and she fucked it. Like,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
lip synced or whatever, and she fucked it. And everybody gave her shit, but she's Beyonce. She doesn't have to prove herself. She
Yeah,
can
that's-
sing.
So that
She-
wasn't
whatever.
that like Obama's inauguration, and it was proven
It
that
was
she
Super
lip
Bowl.
synced.
That was Super Bowl.
Okay, it was Super Bowl
Definitely
because there was
Super Bowl.
she sang at Obama's like original inauguration,
Oh really?
and everybody was like, "Oh fuck that man, she lip synced." And then every
Everyone
artist,
lip-syncs at some point.
every artist came in and was like, "No, like everybody lip syncs. It's the fucking president's inauguration. Like
don't
obviously you're
wanna
gonna
mess it
lip
up.
sync.
You're not
dude,
taking a
fuck."
chance. You're gonna have a backing track.
And like it's her
And maybe
song.
maybe you'll sing over it. Like just not to bring up him again, but Justin Bieber
Oh
did that
shit.
too.
Yeah, but like a lot of the concert is
you
like
play-
the dancing and shit, right?
Yeah, rappers do it too. Like a lot in their like you miss a lyric, like you have
Yeah.
your backing track, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like if you fuck up, you have that backing track to like save your ass.
Yeah, no.
Do you remember the fucking catastrophe of Ashley Simpson? It was fucking Jessica Simpson's sister.
Oh my god.
And she was on Saturday Night Live or fucking one of those programs.
What year is this?
And she just like, oh, this was a while ago.
It might be before my time.
Yeah, you were still playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
You were still playing Pokemon when this happened, Joe.
I'm still playing Pokemon now.
But fucking, she basically
Well,
got
fucking-
caught. She got caught
Well,
lip syncing, and then she did a weird dance and just left the stage, and it was the fucking most
Ooh.
awkward moment on TV ever.
you.
That's awkward.
That like hurts to hear about.
Yeah, you should see the video because it's really fucking bad.
I'll definitely look it up when we're
Did you
done
see,
recording this podcast.
Did you see Thug Life Jeremy Renner?
No, what?
At the
Wait,
Golden
is
Globes?
he a Arrow guy from?
No,
Is that Jeremy Renner?
Hawkeye from
Hawkeye.
the Avengers. yeah.
Arrow guys. I call him.
He's opening. He's up there with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, I saw this.
She's opening the. She's opening the envelope and she's like, "Do you wanna read it or not?" He's like, "Ah," he's like, "You can do it. You can do it." And she's like, "Okay, I got the envelope." He's like, "Yeah, you got the globes too."
Oh my god.
And then I love that music that plays in. It's like bum bum boom, boom. Yeah. Fucking Thug Life videos are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Thug Life videos, have you guys seen that Thug Life video where the old dude slaps that bear?
He slaps a bear.
Yeah. I think
He
it's
straight
similar.
up like slaps a bear in the face. Like this bear is just kind of curious and just kind of like up on its hind legs beside him and just kind of like gives him a little like push. And this old guy just goes no and just slaps this fucking bear in the face.
What did the bear do?
No love for Grizzlies, man.
Okay, so
What's like the story behind this?
I know,
Like,
I was intrigued also.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and this old guy ran this thing in Alaska. He called it Bear Sanctuary or some stupid shit, but
Man, that
he-
sounds hype.
he had some documentary on like
Stellar.
Discovery Channel or something, and basically it was this old guy living in Alaska, and he made it like his lifelong mission, like for 25 years or something, to feed bears. So wild fucking bears would come up to his cabin, grizzly bears, just scary ass bears would come up to his cabin, and he would just feed them.
Bears are straight up
And,
like
like,
monsters.
Like they're wild bears. They don't care about you.
That's
Like,
weird.
They will probably eat you if you stop
Reminds
feeding
me
them.
of the monkey lady, the lady who like lived with the monkeys. What was her
The
name?
one the fucking chimpanzee ripped off her face? Or no, you're thinking of Jane Goodall.
I was thinking of Jane Goodall, but I'm more interested in what you just.
You never heard about that? It was something in
I heard about that. Yeah.
I don't know. It was some part of America, and some chimpanzee ripped off her face, and then Oprah had her on her show and
And
had
then
her.
they made Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my god!
Of course,
So
of course,
O-
Oprah had her on the show
O-
too. Classic Oprah.
Oprah had her on the show, and basically she was wearing a veil for the first part of this interview. And this
Ooh.
was like the first time anybody has seen her face after
Oh,
this
man.
news story broke. So
Oprah
basically,
would get that scoop.
yeah, so basically she got her face ripped off by a chimpanzee.
That's horrifying.
And like the 911 call of her friend calling was like, the chimpanzee's eating her face, and it went super viral. So then Oprah interviews her, and then towards the end of the interview, she's like, okay, like take off your veil.
Yeah.
And she's just this like mangled, mess.
Oh.
And fucking Oprah is just like fucking dollar signs in her eyes. She's just like, oh my god.
Dark.
This fucking chimpanzee
dark.
ripped your face off and everybody's gonna see it and I'm gonna make a lot of money off it. It was pretty fucked up.
That's dark, man. Oh man.
Needless to say, don't have a fucking chimpanzee.
I don't know. Chimpanzees they actually kind of like freak me out because like
they're so human.
They're built. Man.
If you've ever seen a monkey in real life, they are fucking scary.
Oh, I've seen like weird like videos of like monkeys just being aggressive, and it's like actually kind of terrifying because it's like it's the equivalent of like a very angry man yelling at you, but he's also in very, very good shape and he's liable to just like tear you apart.
I think they said it's like a normal sized chimpanzee. So like if you think of chimpanzees, like relative to humans, they're pretty small.
They're
but
smaller.
Like, a normal sized chimpanzee is like the strength of 4 men or something. So not only are they an animal, but if they want to rip off your fucking face, they'll just rip off your face.
They're smart too. Like,
they're just like little jacked, crazy bodybuilder humans.
Yeah, and like they're very intelligent too. So it's not like you can just like trick them. Like if one really wants to fuck with you, he'll fuck with you.
That's a fucking another thing. On Vice, they had this like video documentary type thing where they went to a place. I forget where it was. It was somewhere in Africa. It was like Sudan or someplace. So basically they had this big monkey sanctuary where they had a bunch of scientists and researchers working there, like basically researching monkeys and stuff. And a big war broke out. So they said, okay, what's the best thing to do with these monkeys? So they put them on a big island and they call it Monkey Island.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, like regularly, they'll have feedings. So researchers and other people will go to this island where a bunch of wild monkeys just live.
That's scary, man.
And they'll pass them food. So the thing that got me fucking real interested was, so these researchers would come in on a little boat and they had the Vice correspondent come, and so you'd think it's monkeys, so they'd go and they'd feed them a bunch of meat or fucking bananas or whatever stereotypical thing you'd feed a wild animal.
Yeah.
So they
Oats.
were passing out suckers like lollipops to these
man.
fucking wild apes. And at first, like, they come up in a boat with a big bag of fucking lollipops, and I'm like, man, what are they gonna do with these? And they start passing them out. Like, the monkeys come up to the boat with their hands out.
Oh.
It's like, and they start passing out these lollipops, and you're like, dude, why the fuck would you give a monkey a lollipop? This is ridiculous. But you fucking see these monkeys stand there, and they'll take the lollipop, and they'll unwrap it, and start eating it like a human. That's the fucking scariest thing.
What?
The scariest
That's weird,
thing.
man. That's
Dude,
weird.
These monkeys are eating lollipops with such fucking skill. They're unwrapping these
Have
with
you-
such
skill.
fucking fiddly wrappers.
Have you seen that video of the monkeys on the beach? I can't remember where it was, but these monkeys will run out on the beach and steal your drinks.
I think
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
Thailand, I think.
Thailand, that's where it is. Yeah, Thailand. They'll run out on the beach and steal your drinks and just get hammered.
Yeah, man.
And they're trying to, they're saying that like they're like the experiments and research is saying that like just basically that alcoholism is genetic and shit, right? And like a certain percentage of the monkeys won't drink, like aren't into
Like
it.
they're like no, drinking, that's horrible.
Like they're
No.
not into it.
They're
but,
the
like,
religious monkeys.
But some monkeys are just like getting hammered, falling asleep on picnic tables and shit, like
That's-
passing
oh.
out. It's hilarious.
Yeah, dude,
gotta look that
I
shit
had a
up.
friend whose sister went to Thailand, and like he was telling me that like they'll have parks and shit where there's signs and it's like if you have anything shiny or anything valuable, like hide it. Like monkeys will literally hang out in trees and you walk past with a fucking iPhone and they'll like swoop down and take it and run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monkeys are so scary human, like just so close to fucking humans that it's like it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
Back to just real quick that you're talking about Oprah.
Yeah.
And like how she's like just into like making money off that and shit.
Yeah.
I watched a video today. It was Dr. Phil. Have you guys heard about that girl Ramina? I don't know what her last name is. She's 18 years old and she's posting Facebook videos about how if your boyfriend beats you, it means he loves you.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my god.
Oh no.
Yes.
I
You
can
gotta
see why this is a
man.
problem.
And of course,
already.
Dr. Phil had her on the show. And
Dr. Phil's like, Dr. Phil's like, the idiocy of what you're saying. He's just like, it's ridiculous. He's like, I'm afraid. Yeah. He's like, apparently these videos have gotten to like 5 million views.
Of course.
Like, imagine the amount of young girls seeing this and being like,
and they're like, no, she's right. She's right.
She's
if
right.
He beats you, that's
even
cool.
if they don't agree, it's just like poisonous for them to hear.
Yeah, like I love my boyfriend loves me.
Yeah.
As much as he beats me and gives me black.
Well, you shouldn't validate that. I was about to jump into my Dr. Phil impression, but every time I do, I end up sounding like Obama.
He's always just like, you're stupid and you're fat and you're never gonna do anything.
The problem with what you're presenting to me right now is that you're not right.
And they've always got on like the mean stepmom who's like, we care about you, and they're like, fuck you.
Oh,
you're not my mom.
Robin, is that her name? Robin, Dr. Phil's
His wife.
When she said it, she's like, it's true. She's like, when your boyfriend gives like the other night, my boyfriend gave me a black eye, and I was like, he loves me so much.
Yeah.
And then you see Robin's reaction. She's just like, oh.
She's like really cool. She's really cool, eh? Like his wife,
yeah,
she's like really involved in like domestic abuse and stuff.
Yeah, man. I was just like, oh, like on what level do you think that's?
I know, like that's like, she must have grown up with that or something. Because it's cold, like it's so messed up.
It's a cold fucking way to think.
It's so messed up.
Dr. Phil is pretty fucked up.
Yeah,
Dr. Phil goes over some pretty...
I honestly really like Dr. Phil, like, not necessarily like as a person, but I just love the show. Like, I find he always has some interesting stuff.
But like, I love it too. I think it's always like controversial, crazy shit.
Exactly.
But like, is he a doctor and is he making that money?
I don't know.
Like, he's about making money, right?
Yeah, but like when
he's a doctor, but he's a fucking TV doctor.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, he has to throw out everything he's learned, everything he's about, and he's just like, okay, girl with anorexia might not sell.
I just love when he like knocks sense into people though. Like when people come on with those like Nigerian love scams, and Dr. Phil just like shows them the evidence. Like I love that.
Just shuts them down.
I love
right?
it.
Yeah. But anyway, I think we've said enough tonight.
About running out of time.
On the Ramblers Corner podcast. We went for about an hour and a half now.
We've gone longer than we planned, let's just say that.
We've been rambling in the corner.
Episode 1. We're done. Let's plug some of our shit here. We got a Facebook page. You're willing to follow us. We'll have some fancy new things to say every couple of days. We'll
Keep
post
a
some
lookout.
statuses. We'll post some tweets.
We'll update you on when the new stuff comes out.
Yep, so you want to follow us on Facebook, it's RCP-Ramblers Corner Podcast. Our Twitter is Ramblers_Corner. SoundCloud is just Ramblers Corner Podcast, space between the words. YouTube, you can just follow us below the video.
Yeah.
Whatever fancy thing you kids are using these days, just search up Ramblers Corner Podcast.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. We'll be
We're
there.
Keep you updated.
We are there for you as long as you're there for us.
I love it.
My fam.
So poetic.
Yeah, it's
My
beautiful.
children's.
So follow us and listen to our bullshit while we drink lots of beers. We'll be back next week.
We love you, and good night from the Ramblers Corner Podcast.
Good night.
Good night.
That was weird.
It was a long outro. It was very long.